Welcome to Living Life, the show that allows you to pursue things that make you happy, curious, and keep you open-minded. This is Living Life on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Welcome to Living Life, Sweets, Treats, and Eats on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. I'm Howie Morgasen. On this episode, it's all about the breakfast bakery. Those scrumptious things that you have, usually on the weekend when you want to treat yourself. So on this episode, we're going to cover 3 of those. So first, we're going to make some delicious chocolate chip scones with my special guest. Then we're going to do some glazed donuts, yum. And then we're going to do pound cake with whipped cream and fruit. And then to tie it all together at the end, a great breakfast beverage, a mimosa. So, I hope you enjoy the podcast that we're doing for you today. You can check us out on social media at Living Life ETB. So let's get started and make some chocolate chip scones. Okay, so chocolate chip scones, and I have my special guest here with me today. I have Josh with me. Say hi to everybody, Josh.
Hello.
All right, so you ready to get started? All right, so the first thing we have is our flour.
Flour.
Okay, and we're going to put this in the bowl, so turn it over. Make sure it all gets in there. Good job. Okay, now we have, we got to add the rest of the ingredients. So we have white sugar, so put that in. Okay, and then we have brown sugar, put that in. I'm sorry, that was the baking soda, my fault. Here's the brown sugar, that's okay. Okay, and now we have baking powder. You can put that in. All right. And then we have salt. So put the salt in. Okay, now get your whisk and let's mix it all up. Go ahead, do a good job. Get all the stuff over here, mix it all together. Keep going. Keep going. So, do you like baking? Yeah, do you have a lot of fun doing it?
Yes.
Yeah, this was because of a video that you watched with your daddy, right?
Yep.
Where
my grandpa and grandma.
Okay, and you made, they were making chocolate chip scones?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're doing here, right? Okay, so the last piece we want to put in here for now is this. What do we have here?
Chocolate chip.
Okay, so put those in. Good job. All right, and we're going to continue to mix this up, and then we have the next piece. So mix up the chocolate chips. Okay, that's a good job. All right, so put the scone, you can put that down in there for now. And we're going to just push this over to the side a little bit. And here, now what do we got?
Butter.
Butter, and well, we're going to grind some butter up, right? Because you like butter.
Yes.
Okay, so you ready? We're going to grind the butter.
I want to grind
Okay,
it too.
you can help.
I want a lot of butter.
We got a lot of butter here, right? So
I want you to grind a lot of butter.
Okay. We keep grinding and grinding and grinding. Okay, and then when we're done with it, right, we're going to take the butter. Okay, I think that's enough.
A lot of it.
Okay, and see, we got some left in the back here. Okay, now take that butter and put it in the bowl. Great job. And where's your whisk? Good job. I'll take that. You take your whisk and you mix it up. Okay, and we're going to continue mixing here, and then we'll get to the next step.
Okay.
All right, keep mixing. So Josh and I, so far, you can see that we mixed up the flour with all the dry ingredients in it, including the chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Right, we did that. And now we're going to put the wet ingredients together, right?
Yeah.
So we have some heavy cream, and we're going to put the egg. Can you help me with this?
Eggy.
Let's put the egg in the cream. Good job. And then we have some vanilla. We're going to pour that in. Good job. You're really good at this. Okay, now we're going to take this, okay, and put your hand at the top here and just turn back and forth like this.
But are we not getting it?
We're mixing together the egg and the cream and the vanilla, right? They're getting all mixed together, right? We go back and forth. Okay, now that they're all mixed up, you know what we do?
What?
We're going to put it in with the dry ingredients, and you're going to do that. 1 second, let me get this off here so it doesn't drip. Okay, so now pick it up and go all the way over here. Okay, go ahead. Make sure it all goes in. Turn it over. That's great. You can put that down over there. Okay, now we got to mix this, right?
Mixy, mixy.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to mix this, put it all together, and then we're going to form the scones, right? Okay. All right, Josh, so we made the dough, right? We put it in the bowl, and now we poured it out here. We have some flour, you know, on our tray so it doesn't stick. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it together, okay, and make sure that everything is one big piece of dough, right? We might have to work with a little to make sure till we get all the dry pieces on, right? And then what we're going to do is make it into a shape, right? So I'm going to.
Circle.
Yeah, so you want to help me push it down?
Yes.
Go ahead. Push down, nice and easy. Good job. Okay. So now what I want to do is we're going to turn it into a rectangle, right? So how many sides does a rectangle have? Do you know?
No.
It's like a square. How many sides does a square have?
4.
4, right. Okay, so let's make this straight, and then let's come over here. Straight, okay. And now what we want to do is we want to measure it, right? Because it has to be 3/4 of an inch tall. So I have our ruler here, and I'm going to put it over here, and let me see. Let's see if I can see. So 3/4 of an inch is here. We're about right. So that's good, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we have our square here. I'm going to cut the square. Can you help me do that? Down and down, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one square. Let's get a little help picking it up. Okay, we're going to take one square,
like
and we're going to put it on top of the other square. Okay, isn't that funny? And then we're going to push down. Can you help me push down? Oh my goodness, this is great. Okay, so let's push it down.
Really funny.
Really funny. Okay, so now that we pushed it down again, right, like we had before, let's square it off again like we did. Okay, like that. Okay, and then we're going to cut it in half one more time. You ready? Good job. Okay, and then we're going to pick up one half over here. Right? Put it on top of the other one, right? Like we did before. Okay, and then we're going to push down again. Can you do that?
Push down.
Push down.
Really good.
Really good. Boy, you're so good at this. Have you been practicing?
I was practicing and practicing.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to do. All right, so now that we have it pushed down, okay, let's square it again to make it a nice rectangle. Okay, like that. Okay, let's push it down a little bit more. You got it?
That's my hand on it.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Was I cramping your style there, buddy? Okay, sorry about that. Let's push it in. Okay, push it in, and in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half again. You're going to help me with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then what we're going to do is cut it in half one more time, this way. Okay, and then cut it in half over there. Okay.
Wow.
So now, wait, we have these 4 pieces over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go like this and cut them. Okay, and then we'll go over here, cut it again, come over here, cut that one, and then come over here and cut that one. And now what we have, look, they look like scones. How did that happen? All right, so now what we're going to do is next we're going to put them on a cookie sheet and get them ready to go in the oven. How cool is that?
Good.
Good. All right, so Josh, we cut these great looking scones, right?
Yeah.
And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little more chocolate chip, like we have here, okay? And then take chocolate chips and just push them into the top of each one. Go ahead, and you can put on, go ahead, you go over there and I'll go over here, okay? So just push them. Good job. Take another one. Wow. You are the master baker. You know that? We're just going to put these chocolate chips on here to give it some extra chocolatey goodness, right? Because who likes chocolate?
Me.
Yeah, you like chocolate. How much do you like chocolate?
So much of it.
So much, because chocolate is yummy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now after we put the chocolate chips on all of these. Okay,
wait.
go ahead. You do some. You got. I'm doing it too, so we can get to the next part. Okay, so now that we have the extra chocolate chips on top.
Wait,
Okay,
I need
okay,
more.
go ahead. Sorry.
That's right.
Okay. So you put those on there. Okay, so now what we're going to do.
Wait, I'm almost finished.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. I'll move this over in front of you, and then I'll take the cookie sheet, which I have over here, and I'm going to move it near me. Okay, good idea? Okay, so you let me know when you're done over there. I'm going to start moving these, okay, over to the cookie sheet, and it goes on parchment paper, okay? So here's another one. You want to put another one over here?
Oh, wait,
Okay, go ahead.
just a second one.
Okay,
There's the one.
okay. Did you say you want to eat one? Sure, go ahead. Have one. How's that?
Good.
Really good, okay. Okay, so now we're going to get the rest of these
Good.
and move them over.
Wait.
Okay. You want to go ahead, put a couple more on those. Excellent. I'll move this over here like that. And there's one more left. You want to put another chip on there?
No.
No? Okay.
Fine.
So now we put these over here, and then what's going to happen is this needs to go into the refrigerator for 15 minutes. And then we get it ready to go in the oven, okay?
Yes.
All right, sounds good.
Yes.
Here, you left the chocolate chip out. Eat that one. How's that?
Good.
Good, okay. All right, so let's continue, right? So we have the cream here, right?
Yes.
And we're putting it on top like that.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do this one here.
I want to try it.
Okay, here, I'll give you some on this one. Go ahead. Go ahead, there you go. Spread it out. Great, get some down over here. Excellent. Let me get you some more cream so we can do the other ones. You ready? That's okay. Here, let's put some over here.
You do it.
Okay, I'll do it. So, and then we're going to put some over here. Okay, whoops. That's all right.
What do I do with it?
Okay, you can get it. And then let me get the last one.
What do we do with it?
Just put it on top of the scone.
No.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's make sure we got all the scones covered.
There's just.
Okay, and now the next step, now that we have the cream on it, is we have this really cool sugar. You see that? It's called turbinado sugar.
Turbinado.
Yeah, so what we do is we take a little bit, pinch of it, and we put it on the top of each one.
wanna do
All right, so let me give you a pinch. Open your hand. Okay, turn your hand over. Here, turn your hand over like that. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, then pick some up and put it on this one over here. Go ahead. Great. Okay, let me get a little more on there.
I want to do it.
Okay, open your hand. There you go. Put it on this one over here. Great. Okay, let me get this one over here.
More.
Okay,
More.
open your hand. Okay, put some on this one out here. Can you reach it? Great. Okay, let me get a little more on there, like that.
Turbinado.
Turbinado sugar. Okay. Can you reach this one over here? Excellent. I'm going to throw a little more on there. And then we have one more step. You know what that is? I'll show you. So we've got the sugar on all these, right?
Yes.
And now we got our friends, the chocolate chips are back. All right, so I'm going to put some chocolate chips over here. Okay, and then we're going to put just a few more chocolate chips. Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Okay, so we will finish putting the chocolate chips on,
But I
and
don't
then it's
wanna
going to
put
go
the
in a 400-degree oven, right? That's hot, for about 10 to 12 minutes. And when we come back, you're going to try the scones, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be so cool.
Hello. How are you again?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to hear.
I don't taste the chocolate chip scones into a piece
Okay.
right now. Right now.
Okay, Josh, look at these great scones that we made. Don't they look terrific?
Yes.
And did you know that there's other kinds of scones that you can make as well?
With fruit and vegetables.
With fruit, right? Like you use dried fruit like cranberries or raisins or blueberries, which you like, right?
Or bananas.
Well, bananas might be a little stretch, but we can try using bananas if you wanted to. And you can also do a cinnamon sugar scone, which would be really cool as well. So we have these scones, so should we taste them?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into the scone.
And get me a piece.
And can we show everybody what it looks like? It looks very yummy. So would you like to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Give it a try. What do you think?
So good.
Can I try a piece?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try a piece too.
So. What?
Mmm.
What?
Good job. All right, well, Josh and I are going to finish off on our scone here. So did you have fun making scones today?
Yeah.
So should everybody try making scones?
Yeah.
So tell everybody.
Did you want to try making scones?
Yeah, and you have it from the authority there. So thanks.
Sounds cool.
Now we're going to make some glazed donuts. And these are baked donuts. A lot of donuts are fried. Baked donuts are healthier for you. And again, we're going to do it in a bowl so that we are going to do this manually. For those of you who don't have that KitchenAid mixer, you can do that. And what I just wanted to remind all of you is from a social media standpoint, you can catch us at Living Life ETB and see all about what we're doing. So why don't we get started? So we're going to start with some melted butter. And we have that here. We're going to put it into our mixing bowl. And then we're also going to add some granulated sugar, which we have here. Okay, and then we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're just going to mix it around, and you have to dissolve the sugar into the butter. So I'm just going to keep mixing here, and it will come together. Okay, so as you can see, the sugar has dissolved into the butter, so we're ready for the next step. So what I'm going to do is I have this new thing I'm trying. This is pure vanilla paste, so it's pretty cool stuff. It's a little on the thick side, and I'm going to take about half a teaspoon of it. So you can see it's a little bit thick. I'm going to grab a little bit more. There we go. Put that in. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm adding the eggs in. So I put those in. And then we're mixing again. Somehow I can picture my grandmother when she was alive. This is how she worked in the kitchen, you know, putting stuff together. So I'm going to continue mixing these eggs until they're ready, and then we'll get to the next step. All right, so the eggs have been incorporated in. I would tilt the bowl to show you, but there would be eggs all over the floor, so probably not a good idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using cake flour for this. So not all-purpose flour. Cake flour has less gluten in it, so it gives you a more tender cake, and it allows you to mix it better, so it's more forgiving. So we have cake flour, and then we have some baking powder to give it a little rise. All right, and then we're going to mix this together. And so what I'm going to do is I will continue mixing this, and then when it comes together as a batter, we're going to put it in a pastry bag and make some donuts, and we're going to show you how we do that. So we finished our batter, and as I said, we poured it into a piping bag that I have over here waiting for us. Now we have to prepare the donut tins for baking. So I have some melted butter that I have over here, and then what I'm going to do is just put butter onto each of these, because even though it's non-stick, we want to give ourselves a little insurance from the donuts actually sticking. So I'm just going to put butter on to each of these and just do the best you can. All right, there's one. And so donuts are like America's favorite pastime food, and there's a lot of things that they do when they talk about donuts. So there's the old story about, you know, police officers on breaks and stuff would go to the donut places to get their favorite donuts. So donuts have been part of history, you know, for quite some time. And there's all different types of donuts. Typically, the donuts that most people eat from the donut stores are fried donuts. And those are fried in oil, and they are really delicious. And baked donuts, which we're doing here, are also delicious. And, you know, so we're going to try these baked ones today. Now that I've put the butter in, now I'm going to put just a little bit of flour in each one of these and put them in here. And then I guess the most famous donuts at all, even though they don't look much like donuts, is Dunkin' Donuts has these things called Munchkins. And it was an interesting story. They had the dough left over from the center of the donut when they were sort of working on them, and somebody decided, instead of throwing them out, to sort of, you know, put sugar on them and sort of see what would come up, and that's how they came up with Munchkins. So now we have the flour in here, and I'm just going to mix them around a little bit. And you'll notice that I put parchment paper sort of underneath, and that was because the next step can get a little messy, and we wanted a little insurance so that we could do it. So what I'm now going to do is take the donut tray and turn it over onto the parchment and tap it a little, and then we have just enough left for the donuts. And now we'll do the same thing with the other one, and we'll tap it a little. And then the trays are ready to take the donuts. And so when we come back, we're going to fill the trays and put them in the oven. So stay with us. So we prepared our tins to make donuts. And basically what we did is I brushed melted butter across the tin, and then I dusted it with flour, and then we shake it a little bit, and then we turn it over to get the excess flour out of it. And now we're ready to go. So the batter that I made before, I poured into a piping bag, and what I'm going to do is take the piping bag, and to make it easier to fill, I stood it up in this container. So you can see my batter is in here, and basically what I'm going to do is sort of push it down to the bottom like that. And then with these, we need to go halfway up so that the hole remains in the donut. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to pipe around, and we'll keep piping until we get halfway through, and then we'll go on to the next one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue piping these donut trays, and then when I'm done, I'm going to put them in a 320 degree oven. That's right, 320 low temperature, and they're going to bake for about 15 minutes. So we'll be back with you soon. So you can see our donuts are out of the oven, and they're fully cooled. It took about an hour. And I've put some glazes together, so let me tell you about them. First, I have a raspberry glaze over here, and I made some raspberry puree. I took some raspberries, and I used my boat motor mixer, and I put the raspberries in. Then I put them through a strainer to get the seeds out, and then I mixed it together with some powdered sugar, and that's how I got the raspberry glaze. Now I have a vanilla or a white glaze that you see here. You can see the pieces of vanilla that are in it. And this one is made from powdered sugar, a little lemon juice, and some vanilla extract. So that's what we have there. And then third, I put together a chocolate extract, and that's made from cocoa powder and powdered sugar and a little bit of milk. And you can see that's a thick one, but that looks really good. So, all right, so now we're going to glaze the donuts, and we have some sprinkles over here which we'll put on. Make sure you put the sprinkles on like almost right after you put the glaze on, because the glaze dries kind of quickly. And if you try putting the sprinkles on after, they're going to fall off. So let's start with the raspberry. So we're going to take our donut, and we're just going to sort of turn it over in the glaze. And then we're going to hold it up. Let me put a little more on it. I'm going to hold it up and let it drip off. Okay, like that. And then we'll put it back on here. And then we'll do, let's do a vanilla one. So we'll put the donut down, pull it up, let it drip. And there's the vanilla one, a little drippy. Put that over here. And then let's do a chocolate one. So we'll go over here. We'll put that down in the chocolate. That looks really good. Look how thick that is. And we're going to give that a shake to get the excess chocolate off of it. That looks good. Okay, and we'll take our chocolate one and we'll put it over here. And then I'm going to grab some sprinkles. And just a few, and put some over here, like that. And then I have these nonpareils over here. I'm going to put a couple of those on the white one, like that. Okay. So I'm going to continue dipping donuts over here. And after I do that, the grand finale where we show you everything that we put together today. So, and we have a special beverage as part of the finale, so stay tuned. So now we're going to take a look at pound cake. And pound cake is a very traditional type of food. It's been around for a long, long time. It originated in England. And it's the basis for a lot of other cakes that we make today. So the traditional pound cake, which is where its name comes from, pound, is a pound of flour, a pound of sugar, a pound of eggs, and a pound of butter. And you mix all those together and you bake it. And that's a very dense type of heavy cake. We're going to do a pound cake, but we're going to do a lighter version of it because we're going to use sour cream and baking powder, and we don't need as much of the sugar and the other stuff. So we're going to start out by taking butter. So we have 4 sticks of butter here, and it's room temperature butter, which is important. If you have it out of the refrigerator, obviously it's not going to work very well. So we're going to take our 4 sticks of butter and we're going to put them in our mixer. And then once we have the butter in, we're going to take our sugar and we're going to add that in as well. And that's the first 2 components of it. So we're going to start the mixer up slow. And then what we have to do is the sugar and the butter have to go together. We call that creaming. And it's going to take about 8 minutes to do. So when the butter works through, and we'll be back and take you to the next step. All right, so the butter and the sugar have been going, and now they're ready to go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some vanilla in there. And now I have 9 eggs, which I have here. And I will start to add them. And you want to add the eggs one at a time so that they get a chance to mix. So you give each one a second. So what I'm going to continue to do is add the eggs in here, and then when we come back, we'll add the rest of the ingredients on our pound cake. So we have the eggs all mixed in, and now we're going to put some of the dry ingredients in. So we have baking powder, and we have salt. Okay. Now we're going to put in half the flour because I mentioned before that we're going to be using sour cream to lighten it up. So we're going to put in half of the flour first. And you'll notice that I put the shields on my mixer here because flour tends to go kind of wild. And you start on a very low speed to allow the flour to get incorporated into the wet ingredients. And then that is getting incorporated, and now we're going to go with the sour cream. So we're going to put the sour cream in. Push that in. Get the rest of it here. Okay, we give the sour cream a second to get incorporated. And that's looking pretty good. And then we will put in the rest of the flour that we have here, and I'm just going to scrape down that sour cream that got caught the flour. Okay, so this is going to mix for a little bit to make sure everything is incorporated, and then we're going to put it into loaf pans and then into the oven at 325 degrees. We're going to use mini loaf pans, so it's about 45 to 50 minutes, and then we're going to have pound cake. So we've made it to the finale, and here we are, and look at all this great stuff that we have for you today. Of course, we're talking about the breakfast bakery, which we put together for you. And let's take a look at what we did. So we started off with these great chocolate chip scones. My assistant Joshua, my grandson, helped me out with that, and they look delicious. Then we put together glazed donuts, and we have the chocolate, the raspberry, and the vanilla, and those look really, really good. Then we did some pound cake here, and you can see over here, I did them in mini loaves so they would be easy to serve. And here is a serving suggestion, the mini loaf cut up, a little whipped cream on top, which we put together, and I'm going to include the recipe so you know how to do it. And then just some fruit. That makes a really nice addition to breakfast. And then we had some batter left over from the pound cake, so we put together these little mini muffins. So pound cake mini muffins. So try that out as well. So what we have here is festive breakfast needs a festive beverage. So we have mimosas here. Mimosas are made with orange juice and champagne. So let's open the champagne up. There we go. And now let's take and put a little champagne in each one. So the formula for a mimosa is half orange juice and half champagne. So there's one. And there's the second one. So I want to thank you for joining us today on Sweets, Treats, and Eats. And I just want to let you know, for social media, you can check us out on Living Life, ETB. And then if you want to check us out on YouTube and our episodes there, you can check our YouTube channel. So I just want to thank you for joining us and hope you can join us again on Sweets, Treats, and Eats. Thanks, everybody.